All right, what is going on, guys? It's Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Today, we're going to talk about a massive outage that hit a ton of platforms. Oddly enough, did not hit X, aka Twitter, did not get hit. So a lot of questions are surrounding what the heck actually happened. But before we get started, I do want to remind you guys we're completely independent. We're on our own. If you guys do want to support us, you can definitely share us out. Share us with a friend or a family member that's never seen us. Also, if you want to protect yourself against two things we've talked about a lot, which is, of course, EMP, you can always go over to marfooglenews.com/EMP. Again, that's something that can protect you against not only EMP, but a CME or a Carrington-level event from the sun. Go over to marfooglenews.com/EMP and make sure to use the code MARF. It's easy to put in your car, truck, or motorcycle, or of course, your house generators and all sorts of other things that they make them for. In less than 10 minutes, you'll be protected, and it will ground the signal before it can fry your device. Again, marfooglenews.com/EMP. All right, so what we're talking about today, and I'll bring in my co-host/internet brother, Dex James, is the huge outage. Dex, how are you doing, and what's going on?
Well, hello, Adam, and hello, Fugle fam. I'm doing just fine. Thank you.
So earlier today, there was a massive outage, and I'll show you this image here. This was taken on Down Detector, and this was, I believe, a few minutes in, and obviously you can see all of the different, and this isn't all of them. This was really broad and sweeping, and a lot of the tweets around this were surrounding the fact that X was still up. And many people have their theories on this. We're less here to talk about all of the speculation and crazy theories out there. Again, there's already articles talking about whether it's because of Taylor Swift, it's because of this, or it's that, or it's because it was a test. But it was a massive outage. How does something like this happen on such a grand scale? Now, of course, everybody's going to go, well, mine works right now. We're talking about earlier today, and we're talking about a massive outage that is already done. All of these seem to be back up. But when this happens on this broad of a scale, it's a big deal. It's a really big deal. Facebook and Instagram down as users' fears. Meta has been hacked. This was the fear. This is the fear is that this was a hack that knocked down all of these social media platforms. Users reported issues accessing Facebook and Instagram amid fears that Meta may have been hacked, according to unconfirmed reports on social media. Now, mind you, all of these other platforms went down at the same time. Does that also mean that these platforms were hacked at the same time? That the OUTAGES, that the Gmail, that YouTube, that Facebook, that Valorant, that Honeywell, all of these went down at the same time? And this is just a few. There was an entire list. This was just what could fit on one page of Down Detector. But again, Dex, this looked really strange because of how broad it was and how much was affected.
Yeah, it is, and it's strange too because Facebook is just saying, "Oh, it was just a problem in our configuration. Don't worry, we saw what the problem was and we fixed it." And that would make sense if it only affected Facebook, Instagram, and any of their other properties they own, which were on that list. But there was a lot of other properties on that list too that were being affected. So there's some questions as to what may have actually happened here, because for them to for this to have happened that way. It could have been as simple as their login system was broken. That would make sense just for their products, or it could have been just their login system was hacked, and that would make sense for just their products. But the fact that we saw it, as you showed on the screen there, hitting multiple other platforms that were not owned by Meta, were not part of the unified Meta login that they have. They have one login for all of their platforms. So anyway, that's one way to look at this. I think I sort of go down the sniff test too of this could be a possible cyber event. They're not going to tell us if it was. It's not critical infrastructure, but it is critical enough in the tech space that they're not going to say they were hit by a hack. They're gonna cover this up for sure.
Yeah, and as far as the multiple, and it's even stranger that they admitted it and they say that, oh, this was, some sort of update, because that's admitting, oh, yeah, we were definitely down. This was a big down, but this one was actually just one of our updates. So did they coordinate with all of these other companies, and did they do updates at the same time? Well, of course not. So they're actually addressing it, and it's kind of like it's a very visible, like, we're going to sweep this under the rug and tell you it's some sort of update. The exact same time, all of these other places go down, and they're actually saying it was just an update. So people, this is almost too obvious. And that's why I said, and now there's a bunch of articles being put out about what people are saying about it. And this is the thing I want to point out. Because every kind of outage like this has been a big deal, especially when it was on a big scale. The first time that this platform went down and it went out for hours, it was a big deal because it was out across the planet, and we had never seen it like that at the time. This was a few years back, and it was a big deal because it was all across the planet. It went down. Nobody could access it. And for that to happen, that means that all over the place, that there had to be not just one problem, but problems everywhere, right? So again, with that, it was like, that was why it was strange. Now, when all of this kind of stuff goes down, you have to ask yourself, what do people say? Well, people immediately ran to this theory and that theory. Well, with this, it's like it was coordinated across the board, or at least it seemed like that all of these went down, but X stayed up. Now, X, of course, even Elon Musk cracked jokes about it, like, oh, today where X is up and everything else is down, like, it's a good day type of thing. People were talking about what day it was today. But honestly, think about it. It was so easy to say that. And now that people are saying that, they're saying, oh, this is bad. And they're saying all of this information. They actually left X open, the only social media platform. So everyone ran there and gave their crazy theories. And now they're able to use that as ammo and write 50,000 articles about how, oh, the loopy people think that this is all some sort of, conspiracy, right? At the same time, it's like that's expected. It's almost like they wanted people to come up with theories on this, especially with Facebook saying, oh, yeah, no, actually, it was just an update in our system, and it may have affected all of these other things as well. I mean, think about it. If Facebook is saying that they actually admit that, oh, it was something they did that knocked it out at the exact same time, is it so integrated into our phones and in other apps that it screwed up other apps? I don't know. I don't think so. But you know how they all, they say, oh, we track you outside of the app and everything. I don't think it's like that. So that means that all of these companies, all of these things had a big thing happen. And if they're covering it up, that is enough concern right there. As far as a lot of the stuff that is going on right now, everybody is chattering about, of course, a conflict. Everybody is chattering about a possible civil conflict in our country. Everybody is chattering about the selection process of picking our prez. So this is a really, really, really crazy time that we're living in. So we're going to follow this. And of course, whatever speculation you have, again, I think the bigger point is when we actually lose our internet and lose comms, everything depends on this. We saw the other day when the internet went down in certain places, they couldn't do transactions. They couldn't run pharmacies. They couldn't run hospitals. They couldn't run dispatch. Everything has this backbone of the internet and the communications through the internet cables. That's what's really nuts. Obviously, the underwater sea cable was cut just the other day by the Houthis, and that affected a different part of the world. Well, now people are wondering, oh, are we being set up to think about our underwater cable being cut and our communications with Europe, our hardline stuff going down, and then satellites going down and it all going down? Whether it's orchestrated or whether it is something that is just completely organic, it's definitely something that people should prepare for as a possibility. If we lose, and people don't care if they lose social media, but you do care about if you lose 911 service. You do care about if you lose cell phone service. You do care about if you lose the ability to get your important medications, to go get an operation at the hospital. These are things that are important. So keep this in mind. We've attached this over at our website. Tonight, we're going to be talking about civil conflict. It is going to be a crazy show over on our sister channel, so make sure to join us. I want to thank everybody that joined us in chat, and I want to thank Dex. Thank you for joining me on today's show and letting people know about this.
Much love. Great job, brother.
We'll see you on our full live show where we're going to talk about all of the current events. If you are watching the replay, just click here. See you guys later. Be safe, be prepared, and Marf out. You can get your money out. Nothing's gonna help you now. When the rapture comes, you are going straight